Hey folks, welcome to a special episode of the Dan and Derek Show. So we haven't uploaded in a couple weeks. The whole social distancing thing has made it kind of hard to get together and everything. We were sheltering in place together for a bit, so we've got a couple videos done. But since then, we've gone back to our own home, and it's just hard to get together. But I decided to upload this video today. It's a video I've been wanting to make for a little bit, and it's how to make perfect scrambled eggs, at least in my opinion. Now you might hear some weird noises in the background. That's just going to be my wife playing Animal Crossing. So with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so this is my mise en place for making scrambled eggs. We have 2 grade A large chicken eggs, salt. This is grass-fed butter. For butter, I would say get the highest grade butter that you feel comfortable purchasing, for the very simple fact that butter is the main flavor of your eggs, so get the best stuff that you can get your hands on. And heavy whipping cream. Now, I do have a secret ingredient sitting off here to the side, about 2 teaspoons of Parmesan powder. Now, I know exactly what you're thinking. Why would I go and use cheap Parmesan powder instead of high-grade Parmesan cheese when I'm going through all the trouble of using grass-fed butter? And the answer is actually quite simple. I don't want it to really taste like Parmesan. I just want the saltiness and the kind of earthiness that the Parmesan powdered stuff goes and lends to it. So you're perfectly fine getting the cheapest off-the-shelf stuff that you can get for this. Okay, so the first thing we're going to handle are our eggs. Now, if you notice, I got them sitting on a paper towel, and the reason is because I found that on countertops, they tend to roll off, but paper towels provide just enough traction that they're really not going to want to roll off. So I'm going to grab my cup here, and I'm going to grab my eggs. Now, I'm going to try to be slick here, but it doesn't really matter whether I am or not because these are scrambled eggs. And I'm going to try to go and crack these one-handed so I can hold the camera with the other one. So when I crack an egg one-handed, for those of you who don't already know how to do this, what I like to do is I put my egg on it, I put my fingers down so that my fingers are just touching the counter, and then move them up just a hair so that I can go and when I put my fingers flat, I should crack the egg. Crack it once, rotate it a bit, crack it twice. Notice I'm doing it flat and I'm doing it on the paper towel so that any egg stuff that leaks out doesn't go on my counter. It just goes on the paper towel and can be thrown away. Now, if you notice, I got it cracked in 2 places right next to each other. So I'm going to put there we go. So I'm going to put my finger on one crack, my thumb on the other. I'm going to push them in, and I'm going to pull my thumb up and pull my other finger down. And there you go. Cracked egg. Now we're going to do it again. That one I had to, oops, this one did not crack as neatly as the other one, but we can still, perhaps, yes! Haha, success! I still managed to go and I think break the yolk on the first one. Yeah, I dropped it from too high, but that's it. So I'm going to go rinse my eggy hands off. So I always suggest that you rinse them off. You just don't want to go and transfer egg stuff all over the place, not because of the chance of salmonella, but the chance that you will cross-contaminate and stuff will grow bacteria later. So, I'll be right back. Okay, we're back. So, if you notice, eggshells and the paper towel they were on is gone. And actually, even though I laid down the paper towel, they still managed to soak through, so I had to wipe it up and use a Clorox wipe. Now, if you look, one of these eggs actually has a blood spot on it. Now, a lot of people will sit there and tell you, oh, you got to throw out both eggs. That's actually not true. Blood spots are perfectly safe to eat. It's actually generally a sign that the eggs you're getting are pretty darn fresh, and considering the fact that I got these at a grocery store, that's pretty darn good, but they're cage-free eggs that I'm using, so that's probably why. Anyways, so we're going to go and scramble these up. What I'm going to do right now is hit this with about a tablespoon of heavy cream. I'm going to be very light-handed with the heavy cream. There you go, right there, just a little bit. I got Kroger brand heavy cream. This Kroger brand heavy cream is really thick stuff comparatively to other stuff. And actually, I like it. It makes it easier to dose it out. And I think it whips up better. So we're going to use a fork, and we're going to go and get this all scrambled up and nice and homogeneous. So I'm going to set this camera down while I do that. Okay, our eggs have been scrambled quite thoroughly. And now what we're going to do is we're going to adjust our temperature on our stove to about little bit higher than medium low. And we're going to go and add about 3 tablespoons of butter. Well, actually, we've only got 2 eggs here. Usually I do about a tablespoon of butter per egg. Now, that does sound like a lot, and it is. But don't forget, butter is going to be your main ingredient. And these are the perfect scrambled eggs. These are not the healthiest scrambled eggs. So I'm going to get some of this up. It's hard to do with one hand. Come on. There we go. Get it over here into the pan. And just let that melt. Okay, we got a little bit of foaming. It's time to go and add our egg, cream, and heavy cream mixture. There we go. And then we just let that set for a couple seconds. Okay, now that we let it set for a couple seconds, we're going to stir it up some. And we're going to stir somewhat vigorously. So I like really small curds in mine. I don't like these big giant curds. I just like mine to be, I like small, tight curds that are fluffy at the same time. You'll see what I'm talking about when we get to the end here. Now, this might seem, when you get to the end here, it's going to be a little wet. More wet than some people might like, in which case just cook it longer. It'll go and cook out some of that wetness. Now, these are cooking actually a little bit too fast. So I'm going to pick them up off of the heat and actually keep stirring them. You got to keep them moving, because if you don't, then they are not going to go and come out right. They're going to go and come out as kind of like a chopped up omelet, which I'm not a huge fan of when it comes to scrambled eggs. So we just keep on stirring. Now, you may have noticed I have not gone and added any salt to this yet. And you don't want to add salt until right before the very end, because if you do add salt too early, I'm going to set these back down and let them cook some more. What'll happen is the salt will cause the proteins to denature, and what you will end up with is a pool of egg water on the bottom of your scrambled eggs, and they'll just slide all around and everything else. And no one likes egg water in their scrambled eggs, I don't think. All right, there we go. We're getting a little more. Oh, pick it up. Let it go a little more. See, it's starting to tighten up now. This is what we want to see. And while we're doing this, let me just get this right. Woo-hoo-hoo. That's it, right at. So we're getting really close here. So we're going to set this down for a second. We're going to add our Parmesan powder. And we're going to stir this up with the Parmesan in it. Oh, look at that. All right, so you notice it looks a little bit wet still, looks a little tiny bit underdone, and that is almost perfect. So we're going to go and serve this right now. And here are our eggs. So they look slightly underdone, but that's because carryover heat is going to cook them the rest of the way. They're nice, light, and fluffy. I'm going to add just a tiny sprinkling of salt on them right there, and you can just see that. And then a little tiny pinch of black pepper. And these are my daughter's eggs, and she wants cheese on them. So now I'm going to add shredded cheddar cheese. And that's it. Those are the perfect scrambled eggs. All right, this is my daughter. Izzy, taste your cheesy scrambled eggs.
Looks pretty good.
It's pretty good. Aren't they the best in the world?
Yes. If any of you guys eat it, it's super good. Right, Daddy?
That's right, Izzy. All right. All right, folks, thanks for watching. I hope that you go and cook yourself some perfect scrambled eggs and enjoy them as much as my daughter obviously did. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe also, and hit the alarm bell so you learn whenever we upload brand new content. Comment below, let me know what else you'd like to see me maybe cook or to go and to do a review on. We are going to go and start doing Mandalorian uploads again, along with possibly Naruto. I don't think we're going to be able to do Hunter x Hunter except for doing the format that we've been doing lately, which is not showing the video, but we'll see about that in the future. Thanks for watching. Have a good rest of the day. Okay, Izzy, we gave you a choice. What was your choices?
If I could have some cake or I could have more eggs.
And what'd you choose?
More eggs.